Well, good afternoon, Yelda.
Good afternoon.
I want to start by thanking you for coming out and talking with me this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to get started just by having you share some of your experiences as a woman with a physical disability, and also share with us what caused your physical disability.
I had a car accident when I was 15 and a half years old, which caused my back to break, and then I had to have a surgery, and I started using the wheelchair after that.
What have been some of your experiences having a physical disability, especially having walked at one time and then as a high school student having to relearn everything?
I think I have a pretty, I don't know, when you're 15-year-old, how much character you may have, but I still had a good foundation. Like, I was very independent all my life, and I always wanted to do things on my own. So that part of me, without a disability in my life, for the first 15 years, I think that was established really well in my life. So I think that was the most important thing for me, just figure out how I wanted to do things, because I didn't really change my life that much in a way. Okay. I still went to school. I went to the university, which was in another city. I actually stayed on campus for my undergrad. And then I came to the United States. So I still did everything I wanted to do, but I just had to find new ways to accomplish those things. It's really funny, especially in this country, because accessibility is amazing in the United States. I don't know if people are aware of that, but accessibility is it's just amazing. It's not even comparable to other countries, even European countries.
Tell us a little bit about what makes us so much more accessible here in the States.
In big cities, I can use public transportation. I mean, it's not the most convenient, but still I can do it if I want to, like in New York, in Boston. But if you have a car, especially in this country, I mean, I can just hop in my car and go anywhere I want. And I know that I am going to be able to enter the building, and I can use a restroom. There is a restroom available. It's just amazing. I love it here. That's why I decided to stay here. And for that reason, just going back to your question, I sometimes forget I have a disability here in this country, because I can do anything I want. I can go anywhere. I see myself in the mirror sometimes. Oh yes, yeah, the wheelchair. I sometimes forget that.
So let's just talk a little bit about coming here from a different background with a physical disability, and you talked a little bit about just the differences in the country, but what about the differences being at Ohio State to Memphis to Ole Miss?
When I was at Ohio State and when I was at St. Jude in Memphis, I was in the field of biological sciences and research, which is dominated by international students and faculty. Okay. So in those places, it didn't really come up as much, because everybody had an accent. Nobody really asked. So I heard maybe a handful of times comments about my accent when I was there or when I was in Memphis. But when I moved down to Oxford, that changed. I mean, I heard maybe 10 times within the first month in this town. Everybody was commenting about my accent. Where are you from? And I kind of felt bad, because I had lived in this country for 13 years by that time. Do I still have that accent? I didn't realize it was that heavy. Here, people paid more attention to that. So it was a little bit interesting for me, kind of funny as well.
What would you tell people to make them view a person with a disability or a person from a diverse background as they view everyone else? Like, what would you do?
Yes, I think everybody needs opportunities to meet people from different backgrounds. I wanted to do something, for example, for students with disabilities, and I wanted to be in that field. And first year here in our university, I actually worked at Student Disability Services as a GA. Right now, I'm in another office doing, my job has nothing to do with students with disabilities, directly. But I think just being there in that office, in that environment, as a person with a disability, changes a lot. I think I am doing a lot of service for students with with disabilities by just being there in that office. They just get used to seeing me around, you know, and then seeing me as a professional. So I'm sure, you know, they will remember that in the future when they meet another person, you know, in a wheelchair.
Okay. If you had to leave us with one last thought about diversity, what thought would you leave with us?
I just want to encourage people just to talk, just ask questions, just to talk. Don't, you know, just get to know someone, ask about their experiences, and just initiate those conversations. And, you know, I think that's it. If we get to know each other, I think that's the best thing we can do, you know, for diversity, because I think that's the most important thing. Just get to know each other, because that's how communities come together.
Well, I would like to thank you for starting the conversation with me today.
Thank you so much.